Hello student. In previous lecture, we have learned about the ecological succession and the process of succession. We have discussed about the nudation, invasion, assis, aggregation, aggression, competition, coaction, reaction, and stabilization. Now, the entire sequence of community that successively changes in a given area constitute a series, and alternately it is an entire gradient of organisms, that is entire categories of organization or organism, from pioneer, from the basic step to the climax stage. And individual transitional communities or species is called as serial community. Succession is hence a process that the process where no living organisms were present before, like on a newly formed volcanic island. This is called as a primary succession. And what is a secondary succession? Where it begins in an area where the natural biotic communities have been destroyed, such as in abandoned farmland, burned or cut forests that have been flooded. So there are two different types of succession, primary and secondary. Secondary begins in an area where previously there was an ecosystem, that was called as secondary succession. But in case of primary succession, the barren land get converted into climax community. Since that some soil or sediment is present, the succession is more faster than primary succession. And based on the succession of plants, based on the natural habitat, it is of two categories. One category is called as hydrosphere or hydrarch, and the second one is called as xerarch. Now, dry area is called as xerosphere, while the water or wetland area is called as hydrosphere. So, sphere means what? It is a area which constitute a one ecosystem. So, both these condition leads to mesic condition. And what is a mesic condition? That is a neither too dry or too wet. So again, bare area or barren land get converted into pioneer stage, that is a crustose lichen, then converted into bryophytes. Conversion means what? It forms a new community. It upgrades itself or some by the some pollination purpose. By the some pollination, the new plant get evolved or invasion takes place. So that is a bryophytes, herbs, shrubs, trees. So let us discuss about hydrarch or hydrosphere. Here you can see in this diagram there are different steps, from totally submerged floating rooting plants, then free floating rooting plants, free floating submerged plants, then floating plants, then floating swamp area, then marshland, and then terrestrial. So it starts with the totally phytoplanktons. यहाँ पे पहले छोटे छोटे plants होते हैं एकदम phytoplanktons, which the small fish feeds on the phytoplanktons. Then it converted into or upgrade themselves into totally submerged floating and rooting plants, then free floating, then swamp area, then marshland, then terrestrial means moist soil के ऊपर. Then it forms a climax community, that is a hydrarch or hydrosphere. Next is a quiz that we have discussed in our lecture, that following steps are involved for the xerosphere. Just like a hydrosphere, you can think on it. You can imagine which should be the pioneer stage, what should be the pioneer first step for the bare land purpose or for the first primary succession purpose. Then we are moving ahead for the ecosystem services. Ecosystem services or healthy ecosystem are the base for the wide range of economic and environmental and aesthetic goods, and products of ecosystem processes is called as ecosystem services, which benefits the people. And it benefits in different categories such as supporting services, provisioning services, then regulating services, and cultural services. What is the provisioning services and what are the supporting services? Supporting services includes a nutrient cycle, primary production, soil formation, pollination, which balances the ecosystem, while the provisioning services includes food, raw materials, genetic resources, that is a crop improvement, medicinal resources, ornamental resources, etc. Next, regulating services, which includes carbon sequestration, predation, which regulates the prey population, waste decomposition, while the cultural services includes cultural, spiritual, historical, science, and education. Now, the ecological services mainly is nothing but a fixation of CO2 and release of O2. That is due to the planting of more and more trees, which helps in fixation of carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. And the pollination of plants due to the biotic agents like all birds plays an important role in a pollination. So that was for the 14th number chapter. So then we have started with our chapter number 15. We will just recall what we. So in last two lecture we have also discussed about chapter number 15, that is a biodiversity, conservation and environmental issues. The biodiversity is nothing but a variety of organisms present in the ecosystem, and conservation and environmental issues, that is how to conserve it, how to protect it, and what are the issues that we are facing right now. These are topics that we are going to cover in this. So biodiversity is nothing but a variety of life forms from the microorganism to macro, that is from viruses to animals, giant animals in a particular ecosystem. And it also includes the aspects like shape, color, mode of nutrition, reproduction, life cycle, etc. So living organisms adapt themselves in different environmental climatic conditions, which leads to form a diversity. So it is a part of nature which includes differences in gene among the individual of species and the variety and richness of all plants and animals at different scales at local region, country and the world. This term ecosystem, this term was coined by biodiversity term was coined by Walter Rosen in 1982 and popularized by the sociologist Edward Wilson, which was who described as a combined diversity at all levels of biological organization. And today's diversity is outcome of 3.5 millions of evolutionary history, mainly influenced by the nature and the humans. So then we have discussed this point, that is, can you identify the species diversity in which area is more? Okay, then you have discussed about the levels of biodiversity. So levels of biodiversity are genetic level, species and ecological. Genetic is intraspecific, where the diversity in number of genes and chromosome in different species and variation of genes and alleles of a same species. So variation paves a way for the evolution, and there are the chances of continuation of a best species for the survival of fittest. So here we have seen the different varieties that sustain in different climatic conditions. Then species diversity. Species diversity is interspecific. There is a number of species, plants and animals present in an area. Species diversity. And species diversity deals with the species richness and species evenness. So number of different species present in that area and number of relative abundance of different species in a particular area. Next is ecological diversity, which is related to the different types of ecosystem and habitats within a given geographical area. Therefore, on Earth, there is a large variety of ecosystem with a diversity of species. So, in India, ecosystem diversity is high because in India, we are having a desert, wetland, ocean. That is from Ladakh to Kutch, we are having a different kinds of ecosystem, while in Norway, it is very low. Patterns of biodiversity, then we have discussed about different patterns, that is a latitudinal and altitudinal gradient and species area relationship. So as diversity changes from lower to higher latitude and lower to higher altitude, at higher level near the polar region, in case of latitude we are having very less diversity. In case of higher altitude, again we are having a less diversity because of uh, environmental condition, climatic condition. Next is species area relationship, where we have seen, sorry, the German naturalist Alexander von Humboldt uh, hypothesis and the graph put forward by him. Next, we have seen the importance of species diversity. There is a productivity constant, occasional disturbance, and invasion of alien species. Then we have seen the importance of the species diversity to the ecosystem. It must be resistant to the invasive species. A community is said to be stable if average biomass production remains fairly constant over the period of time. Must be strong to withstand the disturbance and recover quickly. And David Tinman proved that the species richness does help the stability of ecological community. And rich diversity leads to a lesser variation in biomass production over the time. Therefore, it is called as productivity stability hypothesis. So we have discussed this part. Next, Alexander von Humboldt, Rivet-Popper hypothesis. As if one species get extincted or one species get vanished or removed, the ecosystem will collapse. So in next lecture, we will discuss our next topic, that is a biodiversity current scenario. So for time, we will just stop here.